All right, everybody. Welcome. Tackling Tacos, a fishing podcast. I'm not even going to wait. I'm not even going to we got a good guest, dude. We got Seth freaking Fighter on the podcast tonight. And this is really real talk. This is, I wish we would have kept that sheet of paper that we had when we did our first couple podcasts where we messed up all the audio levels and pretty much everything you could F up, we F'd up. But I wish we had that sheet of paper where we all had names of people we want to have on the podcast. I don't remember if it was Lola or me. Maybe it was you. Maybe it was all three of us. We had John Cox, Gerald Swindle, Ike, Seth Fighter, The Rock, Barack Obama. Not really. I made that one up. I wouldn't even really want Barack Obama on the podcast. No diss. But if he asked to be on, I'd let him come on. Well, I like to catch the bass and the smallmouth. But this dude, Seth Fighter, was on maybe all of our lists, just as a real human being. He's just one of those dudes, man. I don't want to get too fanboyish here. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna. He just has this real rare combination of not super easy to read in his videos and when he's on live and whatever, but also has this vibe of just seems to not take himself too seriously, which is such an awesome combo. Fishes seriously, but also doesn't take himself too seriously. Case in point, we talked about this, I think last week or a couple weeks ago, that super dope new Z-Man Tungsten Evo commercial for that new chatterbait, the Tungsten one. It's just this super professionally made video, super high quality, underwater footage, on the boat footage, cool music, the text on the screen. A lot of people probably don't care about that stuff like I do after making a lot of videos for companies and whatever, but I'm very impressed by it. And then by far the dopest part of the whole video is when Seth pulls up a good one at the end and he's just hell yeah. It's just so honest and raw. It's not all he doesn't pull it in the bait and go, put one of these baits in your box today. It's just really human. And I don't know. I love that whole vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Lola, how the heck are you?
I'm good. I'm tired.
Good and tired?
Good and tired.
Yeah. Gus is really loving to wake up in the middle of the night. And I'm like, okay, buddy, you're 3 now. Let's be done with that.
Yeah, as a parent,
I'm a little
dude,
tired.
you want to relish every moment and be there for it, but it sucks sometimes.
Well, I don't
it's
remember
really
the rest
hard
of our kids doing this at this age.
Yeah.
No, I think they were over it. So
do you think if Gus wasn't as cute as he is, we'd just get rid of him?
No.
Okay.
But he is really cute.
Yeah. All right. Well, whatever.
Just trade him off for another Walter.
Oh no.
Walter's the worst. That is the worst dog.
I do not need another dog.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
He's terrible. Yesterday, I was outside with Gus jumping on the trampoline, and I let Walter outside. Usually he just stays in our yard because he's an English bulldog and he's fat and does nothing and chases nothing and he's just fat. And he's funny. I turn around and he's crossing the street 2 blocks over, coming back home, just I'm like,
what were you doing?
Where the F were you, dumb lard? Nate, hit us with the sponsors. Lola, you can give us the socials, and then we'll bring the man in because I'm too excited. I want to talk to this dude.
Yeah, we definitely got to get him in here. But of course, first of all, got to thank Grizzly Coolers, our presenting sponsor. All the dope Grizzly gear, get it over at grizzly.com. I think it's grizzlycoolers.com. And of course,
yes.
Code WCB. Save yourself 15% off because of the guys over at the Working Class Bowhunter. And thanks to them for letting us be a part of the Working Class Bowhunter Podcast Network.
That's a mouthful.
It's
a mouthful.
That
was good though. You spit it out well.
Yeah, but we definitely appreciate it.
For sure.
Giltech, and all their dope products over at Hook and Arrow Supply. We talk about it every week, but they got some of the sickest stuff out. So definitely check them out. And Loophole Optics, Loophole Performance Eyewear.
Yeah.
All the amazing products, binos, sunglasses. Everything that they make is top notch. So
for sure,
I try to keep it short, sweet, get into it. Let's go.
Great. Yeah, that was really good.
I like it.
What's our socials?
Our social is Tackling Tacos.
That's it. For what?
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And
then tacklingtacos.com.
That's it. That was really good. Lola told me this week that I have to stop saying year turbs. She's people aren't going to know what that is.
I didn't tell him you got to
do
No,
that. Yeah, it wasn't a mandate. She was
like gentle.
Because I almost never actually say YouTube. I just say your turbs because it's funnier in my head, and now it's just natural.
Yeah, no, I guarantee somebody is watching this and they're like, what is he even talking about? Like,
I typed in your turb and it brought up nothing.
What kind of social is that?
Yeah. Or it's a porn site. It's just something inappropriate.
Don't look it up.
It's just like linked to something nasty. Somebody's like, I looked up your turbs. This was not what I expected. Trying to be all family friendly or whatnot. Also, before we bring in the llama, dude, happy birthday, Nate. Today is your birthday. Today.
Today is my birthday,
exciting,
yes.
Yeah, so happy birthday to you. Yeah,
yes,
happy birthday. We love you. You're a good dude. We appreciate the fire out of you, not just for doing the podcast, but you've been a good friend to me and Lola for a long time. And today on your 22nd birthday, we're just so happy. Right. Legit, how old are you? 35, 6?
36, yeah.
36.
Age of 36, yeah.
Yeah, you feeling it in your knees a little bit, getting creaky?
Man, I'm not gonna lie. I went to the gym this morning. I had the day off. I went to the gym this morning. As I've been going like pretty regularly for the past couple of months now, and I felt 46. Like I don't know what it was.
Dang.
I don't know what the deal was. It
had to be between your
tired.
Ears. Like it had because you turned 30. It had to be.
I don't even know if I thought that I was old until like I realized like, man, why does this shoulder hurt today? Like what is
But do you believe in that? Like psychosomatic stuff? Like as you kind of like focus on crap?
The more oh no doubt. The more you think of it, the more real it becomes, no doubt. Sure. But yeah, that probably had most to do with it. But had a great time celebrating with the family, went out to eat, hung out,
get tacos?
Now we did not get tacos. No, we actually went to I
love the soundboard. It's so stupid. Yeah.
I'll be perfectly honest. We probably would have had tacos, but we had Mexican yesterday. There's a dope spot right on the river that we've been going to lately called Delua on the river. If you're from Quad Cities,
I know that spot.
If you haven't been to Delua, it's bomb, and of course it's right on the river. So we went there yesterday. And today we went to Steel Plow. The kids love the big shakes.
Yeah, that place is
all that good stuff. So yeah,
that's what's up.
So that's what we did.
Did you get anything? You get like a new dial reel? Get anything fun for your birthday?
Well, I got a new dial reel a couple days ago.
Did you really?
It's just been sitting here.
Is that the Exist?
No, this is close. It's that's a Tula.
Yeah, dude,
reel. So
Daiwa, not because of the fact that Seth is on the podcast and he's a Daiwa guy, but like legitimately Daiwa stuff, like it was a good little bit ago, 10, 12 years, like their stuff, it's always been good, but they took a turn on like design where it looks good, it feels super good in your hands, like the size of the reels, like everything just got real intentional, you know? I don't know. They're killing it.
No doubt.
Yeah. And then when we had you remember when we had Trey Harple on, who's like a real upgrader, cleaner genius, and he was like, dude, Daiwa and Shimano, don't mess with anything else. And ever since then, that's all I bought for reals is Daiwa stuff, and it's just rock solid. What's that?
This is a Lose Tournament Pro, like the original Tournament Pro.
Oh yeah.
I have it sitting here on my desk because I just ordered new bearings for it from Trey.
Oh, right on. That's what's up.
Yeah. Literally like 2 days ago, ordered new bearings for it. So
that's
we're gonna hopefully get this thing acting right again.
Yeah, that's what's up, dude. Well, happy birthday, man. Legitimate. Stoked.
Appreciate it.
To be your friend. So, all right. So Seth Fighter, people call him the Llama. I have no idea why.
We're gonna find out.
I don't know if it's the her. I don't know what it is, like the little llama hand sign, whatever. I will say we talked about this with Brandon Polinick. Not to like make it a competition, but some people's sponsors you look at and you're like, yeah, those are good sponsors. And other people, it's like, dude, that cat's got some sponsors. Seth Fighter's sponsor list is bananas. Like every one of his sponsors is just so legit. He's a Minnesota boy. Obviously, he's like a style icon in the hair world, the mustache world. He's one of the realest dudes out there, like I already said. He's been in 6 classics, over $1 million just in BASS earnings. He was the 2021 Angler of the Year, which I think could be in the world of fishing the single hardest title to capture. I don't know there's much to really even argue there. Consistency against these dudes for an entire season, that's wild. That's wild. Yeah. He's a big duck hunter. He's a family man. I know that he stocks the shelves third shift at Omnia Tackle. He has 123 Bass Derbies, and of those, he's been in the money 93 times with 3 wins.
Holy moly.
Holy guacamole. What an honor to bring to the stage Seth freaking Fighter.
Hey-o.
What up, man?
What's happening?
Hey.
Thanks for having me. Happy birthday, Nate.
Hey, appreciate it. Thank you.
Dude, you just
I couldn't think of a better way to celebrate it. Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. So Seth, thank you so much for being on our little show, man. We appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely, dude. So just looking at your setup right now, like with the ducks and everything in the background, would you say you're more of a duck guy or more of a fishing guy?
It's whatever the time of year is, After you fish for like 9 months straight, I like to shoot ducks, and then after you do that for a couple months, and I just want to get back in the boat and go fishing again.
Yeah, I feel that for sure. So I've talked to other people who are big duck hunters. Do you ever make tacos out of your ducks? I've heard that's pretty tasty.
You can if you like crock pot them and shred them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I don't do it a whole lot. No, I like to do them. My favorite way is just basically rotisserie them. Just plug them whole. I got a little rotisserie chicken maker thing, and I'll season them up and roll them in there for 20 minutes and get down.
That's dope, dude. And ducks are like red meat, right? I'm not a duck hunter at all because
it's dark red meat. Yeah, it'd be close, similar to deer meat.
Yeah. So do you undercook it? Like, do you cook it like medium rare, that kind of thing? Or no?
Well, in the rotisserie, I'll cook it all the way through. It doesn't much matter because it's got all the fat on it, rolling in it, so it stays. It doesn't get dry on you. But if you're gonna like pan fry them or do them on the grill, medium rare for sure. Like you go past that, and they're 100 times better medium rare than they are medium.
There you go.
Wow.
I already learned something.
I'm learning so much.
Because as like deer hunters, like we're usually in the deer woods, not duck hunting. But duck hunting always seemed fun. It's like less quiet. It just seems more fun hanging out with your buddies.
It's always with a group, like the camaraderie.
Yeah. So do you have a duck dog?
No, I got a couple German Shepherds just around the house.
Yeah, right on. That's what's up. All right, so before we get into all the whatever stuff, where did the llama come from?
Zona started calling me it. Looking back now, I think I might resemble a llama a little bit. So I think that he made up some like BS story, like some girl was yelling llama at him, and then he started doing it to me. And I think he just thinks I look like. Now looking back, I think he just thinks I look like a llama, and that's why he started calling me that.
That's perfect.
I used to have a little like at the time. I had like a little chin goatee. I get it. I could see it.
Oh my gosh,
he said I get
funny.
it. He's just like,
yeah, I get it.
Yeah. Speaking of Zona, one of my first times I saw something about you. I've been following bass fishing a long time, but really more into like tournament fishing or whatever. I don't know how long now. 10, 12 years, maybe not a super, super long time. And there was an episode of Zona where he like number 2 or number 1 your head, shaved it down and then gave you steps, and it was live or something too, right? And it wasn't coming off super easy. And then he left like the front rat tail, and I'm like, who is this dude? like I kind of knew who you were, but then to see that, I was like, okay, I can like this cat. He's not taking himself too seriously. He doesn't even care about his long hair getting buzzed on the boat. Have you heard a lot of like good feedback from that episode?
People still come. That was 8 years ago, probably. Yeah, people still talk about it to this day. But don't ever let Zona cut your hair. Like you couldn't see it on the camera, but dude, I just had like random long strands of hair that I was like cutting for like the next 3 days. I would just find him like in the middle of the buzzed part, just a full length hair that he missed. And he said he went to barber school. I think he was lying to me.
Yeah, I think that's the same truth as the llama story.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was definitely feeding you a line.
Zona's a liar.
Yeah, Zona's a liar.
He's a swindler.
Yeah, that's what I think of when I think of Zona. It's just a straight swindler. It's funny now though, dude. Like I know you're fishing, obviously, but watching bass live without Zona, it's a different experience, dude. Like it's a totally different vibe.
Yeah, he was a big part of that.
Heck yeah,
live show, and without him, it'll never really. He's unreplaceable. You know what I mean?
I think so too. They were all saying who's going to replace him.
But most of them, you could swap them here and there. But
absolutely,
a guy like Zona, that personality is just irreplaceable.
Absolutely, yeah, 1,000,000%. I remember the first time I showed Lola like some Zona videos, and she's like, "Who is this guy?"
Like, I love him.
Yeah, he's just so goofy and like unashamedly dorky. Like he's not trying to be cool. He's just being like when he like starts describing like a technique and he starts laughing, he's like, and then I mean you you're like, we didn't even say, like, you didn't describe anything, you just started laughing, he's a cool cat, man, for sure. But all right, we're not here to talk about Zona. We're here to talk about Seth Fighter. Does anybody ever even call you the Amazing Fighter, man, or is that just a Mercer thing?
Just Mercer. Yeah.
Does he still?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I black out when I go on stage, or I
speak really?
in front of crowds. Oh yeah, I don't even know what happened when I was up there.
Really?
Just straight blackout.
That's hilarious, dude.
Being in front of crowds, like public speaking, has terrified me since I was, like elementary school. And yeah. When I come off the stage, I have not a clue what even happened up there.
That's crazy.
Oh my God!
You got to look at the ticket just to see how big your bag was. Just because
I can remember the weight, but like what he said to me and what I said, like. I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if it's like a defense mechanism or something, but yeah, I just black out.
Yeah, your wife's like, "Why'd you say that?" And you're like, "Say what?" I don't even, I have no idea.
Was I even up there?
So this weekend at Intune, did you do like a seminar, or were you just there hanging
out? No, just hanging out. Just sitting by the boats and BSing with all the people that came up there.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. I work at a marine place called Zacco's in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. And last weekend we had I don't know if you know who Ted Takasaki is. He's like a walleye guy.
Oh, yeah.
Ted came. Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah. So Ted came, and like it was so funny because he's probably done 12 billion like seminars and like and you could tell that like he was kind of in and out of like going through the motions almost. You know what I'm saying? Like he had done it so many times that you could find him just like falling asleep on himself and then kind of coming back out of it. like, and you want to fish points, right? Because the points is where the points is where the fish are. And so if you find the point, it was like he was going in it because he'd just done it so many times. And I just wondered if you did that too, because you're not a public speaker. But Seth, take a couple minutes if you would, brother. Break us off a little bit of your history. Like we just like hearing where people like you, who now everybody knows and kind of looks up to in the fishing world. But how did you get started in fishing? And then how did you get started in like tournaments and stuff?
Okay. Grew up, my dad was a pretty avid outdoorsman, not specifically a tournament bass fisherman or anything. He liked doing everything, deer hunting, duck hunting, turkey hunting, walleye fishing, crappie, pike, bass, whatever. So he got me out in the outdoors a lot when I was a kid. Took me fishing quite a bit, hunting, all that stuff. Really just kind of liked everything at that point. And then it was probably, I don't know, maybe like 10 or 12 is when I like really fell in love with bass specifically versus just, throwing a bobber and, just being happy with whatever bit, really got the bass bug then. That probably coincided with about the time I started seeing the Bassmaster tournaments on TNN back in the day. Totally. So that it was like really got into that. Never like at the time was never really thinking about tournament fishing, but just, thought bass was the coolest fish to fish for. And then so I just fished fished a lot offshore. My dad had a whole duck boat. I'd fish an old John boat with a trolling motor on it.
Heck yeah.
I'd fish out of that quite a bit. And then I'd say I think I was 17. In Minnesota, they had a big Pro-Am circuit called Minnesota Pro-Am. It might have been the Silverado Pro-Am at that time. It changed names a couple times, but they had a program there they called it the junior angler program. You had to like write an essay and like they picked like, I forgot what it was, maybe 5 or 10 kids. And they allowed you to, you got to fish co-angler on the Pro-Am trail for free. And you got like a cool jacket. I still got it, like with a bunch of like
that's cool.
sponsors and stuff on it, and your name on it. And you got to fish tournaments for free. So it was like a 5 tournament circuit or whatever all around Minnesota. So I did that for a couple of years, and that's when I really like got obsessed with tournament fishing and stuff. And then I don't know when so I did that when I was like 17, 18, and then probably early 20s I started doing team tournaments around the metro. Couple of them on Minnetonka, and then got into the Denny's Super 30, which was it's a small 50 boat tournament, but it's all of them are on Lake Minnetonka, and that's when I really got like hardcore into tournament fishing, like practicing all the time, spending all my free time on Lake Minnetonka. And did that for a while. Had some success, did pretty fair for myself, and then I forgot what year it was, maybe I don't know, 2008-ish. I was also doing the I think it was a Minnesota Pro-Am at the time, maybe it was a Silverado, as a boater.
Okay.
And I won the championship that year, won a boat.
Oh, heck yeah.
Thought I was like the hottest shit on planet Earth.
Yeah.
Because you were.
Yeah.
You were.
No doubt.
Yeah, I wasn't, dude. I signed up for like the FLW. It basically be equivalent to like maybe like a Toyota Series now. It was the BP Eastern Series or whatever. Signed up for 4 of them. Fished the first 2, finished like 195th out of 200. Just didn't even finish the rest of the circuit. Just came home, tail tucked between my legs.
Oh gosh,
just about quit bass fishing.
Yeah,
I
wasn't
went
laughing
back
at you. I just know that feeling. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Heck yeah.
I'll be at that point sooner than later again. It's just that's tournament bass fishing. It's just roller coaster up and down all the time. Then I came back, fished those same circuits again around the house, got to where I was, consistently near the top, and then went back and jumped back in the opens in maybe like 2012, 2013-ish. Did those for a few years with pretty good success. And the third year I did them, I qualified for the elites, and
heck yeah.
Just some way, somehow kept it rolling since.
Dude, that's sick. The Denny's, was that did you fish that at the same time as Austin Felix? Because he fished that, right?
Oh yeah, no, we had like, looking back now, we had like the most stacked little local tournament field ever. I mean,
that's sick.
We got out of a 50 boat, basically. I mean, not really a club tournament because it's a little bit bigger than that, but
yeah, for sure.
We had at least 3 guys that fished the Elite Series.
Jeez.
Probably another 5 or 6 that ended up fishing FLW tour.
Wow.
So I mean, out of a 50 boat field, you had like 10 guys fishing, top level. At the time, we didn't realize it because we were all just fishing there. In the years once we all started leaving, looking back now, it's kind of crazy for pretty stiff competition. And there was, another 10 guys that never left, but were equally as good, would win just as much as the rest of us in those circuits, like your Dean Capra, Shane Raveling, type guys that never really pursued the national stuff, but obviously capable of it. Yeah.
Wow.
So it was a really good place to grow up fishing. Between Tonka being as diverse as it is, being a chain, like you had dirty water lakes, where you catch them in like pads and docks and cranking riprap, and then you had clear water lakes where you caught them in 20 feet of water on a drop shot and light line and all that. So you kind of got to, and obviously a lot of grass fishing, got to see a little bit of everything. And then, just growing up fishing against that kind of competition makes you a much better angler. I'd say out of the area I grew up in, the guys from Minnetonka, and then the guys that fish like the BFLs out of La Crosse area, those are like the 2 hubs of really stiff competition, and seem to have produced like the best anglers out of Minnesota, in my opinion.
Yeah. I just remember when we had Austin Felix on, I remember him saying something about the Denny's, and like that name stuck with my head, Are they still running those now? That's still a thing, isn't it?
They are. Yeah. The guy that ran them actually retired a couple years ago. And then some guys that had fished them forever took over, and they're still running them to this day. Still pretty much the best circuit for competition around my house anyways.
Yeah. Heck yeah. That's rad.
That's so cool. I want to hear about your family. Can you tell us about your family?
Yeah. I got 3 little girls. One's about to be 7, a 4, and a 2-year-old.
Dang.
And it's a handful. It's fun though. They're at a cool age. And my wife dating. I think I started dating her about the time I got back into the Open. So probably 12, 13 years now. Obviously we're married now, but a nice little life.
Yeah, I got a nice little life. I love it.
Dude. I do, man. No complaints.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I want to ask you another thing about your family, if that's all right. Is it hot? Number one, do you travel with your wife and kiddos a lot or no?
Ask that.
They'll come to a close turn. Like if we go to lacrosse or something, a couple 2-3 hours away. And we fished that open at Leech Lake last year. They came to that. Yeah. I'd like to do it more, but realistically, till our youngest one's maybe 4 years old, then I think I might start doing like maybe the camper deal, or at least bring them with like during the summer when they're not in school.
Yeah, it's a lot, dude. There's a lot of moving parts for that.
Yeah, it's just hard traveling with like a 2-year-old across country.
No doubt. Yeah. You excited for lacrosse this year?
Yeah, I am. Yeah. I like
that
place a lot.
Yeah, it's super dope for sure. Let me ask you a question that may be potentially like yucky, but whatever. What was it? Was it 18 when the Great Divide happened? Was that what it was? 2018?
Yeah, the end of 18.
Yeah. Was there? Whatever. If you don't want to answer this, you can just tell me to shut up.
I don't care. No, that's an answer anything.
Was there? Did MLF approach you, and was there any kind of temptation there? Because it seems like you're through and through BASS, but like.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I thought about it, but the more I thought about it, the worse it sounded. And they gave me an offer, or I shouldn't say gave me an offer, offered me a spot at MLF. I declined it. Just got bad vibes from Boyd Duckett and Gary Klein. And then I kind of lost a lot of respect for a lot of guys that were my heroes coming into fishing, just seeing how they were acting, and just seemed really ungrateful, and kind of throwing Bass under the bus, even though Bass made all of them, famous bass fishing millionaires, built their careers, and then they really thought they were gonna put Bass out, like it was gonna disappear, and MLF was gonna be the only show on the road, and they're all acting like just divas, and thought they were all gonna be making like millions and millions of dollars, which isn't real. Like they thought I was going to be the PGA, which I mean, the fishing's just not that big, and I don't know, a lot of them just bad vibes from them, like that's especially like Boyd Duckett and Gary Klein. Like I'll never forget, like they bring us into this. I don't know, I might get sued for this. I think we had to sign like NDAs and stuff. But
we'll just beep it out and people can pretend like they don't know.
Okay, they brought us in this room and they gave us like this packet like this thick. And they talked, they gave a little spiel for like an hour or whatever, and they won't let you leave the room unless you sign it. Like you walk out the door, it's over. It's all legal stuff, and it's that thick, and they expect, like, I barely graduated high school. Like, I don't know any of these words on this piece of paper. They want you to just sign your life away. I never remember, like, Gary Klein, like, walked up to me and handed me the pen. He's like, do the right thing. And I was just like, oh, yeah.
Really?
No. See ya, dude, yeah.
That's like used car salesman status.
Yeah, it was bad. And I was like,
that's definitely the ick vibes.
Yeah. Read a 50-page contract and sign it right now before you leave the room, or we're gonna give your
that's
shot
the
to
right
someone
thing.
else. I was like, no.
I'm
like,
good.
You should have a couple weeks to give that to a lawyer or something.
Yes.
No doubt.
Just the way they went about it, I was just like, this ain't it.
Okay. Yeah. And
it ended up being like the best decision I ever made. So
yeah, well, that's exactly what I was going to ask you, because the way that you kind of told your story, where you came up through the ranks and got into the elites through the third, trying the opens or whatever. And then I remember when it all hit in 18, I remember talking to Lola, I remember talking to Nate, and the only two I can remember, I know there's more than these, but the only two I can remember who stuck around was like you and Zaldane. And I know there's more than that, but I remember the fact that you guys did was like, whoa, like it kind of stood out. And so I was just wondering I don't know. I was just wondering what that was like for you. And now, obviously, hindsight, like, dude, you definitely made the right choice. Shoot.
Yeah. Looking back, I was a little nervous, not going to lie, for, the first year, but really just, I don't know, seemed like the bass gods were on our side. I don't know how else to describe it, but all our tournaments were awesome, and theirs were all rough, and every other week they were changing rules, and every promise they got made in that meeting, none of them came true. And whatever.
And now they're fishing like 50 dudes in the derbies, and it's
I don't know.
Yeah, they kept on changing like the numbers and changing
it's hard to keep track of.
Indeed. Yeah. So do you have any fishing boat docks merchandise then?
Hell yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got a hat from Watson, and
yeah, heck yeah,
I think I just got a hat, but
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I remember when he first started rocking that merch, and I like saw it on a couple of videos, and I didn't know what was going on yet. Like I knew there was like kind of contentious between he and Boy Duckett, and then I don't remember, maybe Ike's podcast or somebody, and they never even said it, but they put it together, and I was like, oh, FBD, Fishing Boat Docs. Okay, I got it now. Like F Boy Duckett, got it. I was a little slow. I was a little slow to the game, but I was like, dang, that's ballsy. And I thought it was rad that he just didn't care. He just went for it.
He got kicked out for it, but yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I think he saw the writing on the wall and was like, F it. If I'm going to go, I'm going to go, which I respect the heck out of anyway. But
Watson's awesome.
Yeah, he really is, dude. Yeah. What do you guys want to do? You want to play one of your favorites?
Sure.
All right, so let's play a quick game, Seth. We call it one of your favorites. It's not like your number one favorite. We'll just run through a bunch of random things. Some will be fishing, movies, I don't know, but just one of your favorites. I think it's this one.
One of your favorites.
All right, Seth. So what is one of your favorite bands or just musical artists? Something you listen to a lot?
I mean, I go through like different phases of stuff. I'd say the one that's probably the most timeless, it's not that cool, but Fleetwood Mac. Like my mom was bumping that when I was growing up, and it's like some of my favorite songs are from them, and like other stuff I'll be on for like a year or two, and then I won't listen to it forever. But like, I don't know, Fleetwood Mac, just from age 5 to now, it's still
dope.
Hits.
Yeah. What's one of your favorite songs?
Probably Landslide.
And that's hard to argue with, dude. What a great song.
Yeah,
for sure. All right,
it's a little soft and not that hard, but
it's a nice vibe.
It's timeless,
it's a good vibe.
Man.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Especially like a long road trip song for sure.
Favorite thing to drink?
Probably coffee.
Okay. What kind of coffee you like?
All over the place. I just get them I got a little Keurig, nothing too fancy. I can't live.
Do you drink it black?
Coffee in the morning. No, I put a bunch of cream and sugar in it. So,
okay.
I don't know what it is at that point, but I'm not doing anything in the morning without it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one of your favorite fishing techniques?
Probably frogging, flipping or frogging, one of the two.
Yeah.
I just like being close to them.
Yeah, what was it last year? I'm trying to remember if it was last year, like 2 years ago. I think you were out east somewhere and you were flipping that lay down, and you laid into one, and it was just like that classic hooks at that where like you set the hook and it doesn't move, and it was just a giant. And I think you were throwing braid too. Made that like
braid to a leader,
that screeching noise, but my gosh, that was the best. I love that look, that sound. Yeah, that was dope. All right, oh, go ahead.
Do you do that a lot? Braid the leader on a bait caster?
Yeah. I mean, almost all the time for flipping. Sometimes I'll go straight braid, but I've never, unless I'm chucking and winding, I don't have a bait caster that has fluorocarbon on it.
Really?
Wait, why?
Yeah.
Explain this to me.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of it's kind of did a lot of like spinning rod fishing growing up, and once I saw what you could do with braid to a leader on a spinning rod, I just kind of brought it over to, some stuff I'll do straight braid, like frogging and punching, but a lot of the like light flipping I do is all, or Texas rigs, whatever, is all braid to a leader. I can fish, a really light 7-foot medium heavy rod. I never have to re-spool. It's just boom tie on a little 8-foot piece of fluorocarbon and go. And I'm not, because fluorocarbon, if you were using straight fluoro, I'd be re-spooling every reel every night.
Yep.
And it's just easier maintenance for me. And then I can use lighter gear because
heck yeah.
Before, when I was doing the straight fluoro, I was on like the 8-foot heavy flip stick, and that just, I don't know, me personally, it just destroyed my elbow if you just flip all day long with something like that. So going to braid, I can go to a lot lighter setup, and then doing the leader thing, I can fish gin clear water, wide open cover, and still be invisible, but still have all the benefits of braid and fluoro. So it works for me. It doesn't work for everyone, but it works for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing about you and braid, I read somewhere one time that you frog with like way lighter braid than most, right? Like 30 or something like that. Is that true?
I'll frog with 40, but like all my flipping rods got 30 on them.
Okay.
30-pound braid. I swim jig with 30. I bet 40-pound, like, I don't know how you break that, especially if you use good braid.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Everyone's using like 65 and stuff like that. And I don't, honestly, the only time I'll ever even go to 50-pound is if I'm like punching 1.5 ounces plus weight. Other than that, it's 30 or 40-pound. I just think it casts further, it handles better, and I am not going to break it. So I'm not worried about that. And then honestly, I think being thinner, it cuts through grass better than the 65-pound stuff. Like 30 will slice through milfoil, hydrilla, things like that, where it feels like it kind of just wedges up on like 65,
Yep. And if you ever throw like really thick braid on like just a standard size bait caster, if you make a bomb cast on a frog, I mean, you'll darn near spool yourself. Like it gets way. Like if you're sending one that 65, whatever, it's like, it's like rope, dude. I mean, it's.
What if you do like the frog smash?
Well, that's a different deal
altogether.
Does
you know what a frog smash is?
Yeah, when I was little, Seth, I had this technique where I would put out like 10 feet of line on my bait caster, and when there was like those what are those little like top water, they look like top water clovers, not really attached to anything. You hit them and they like spread open, like they move out of the way. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like that.
I have no idea.
Talking about duckweed?
Yeah, duckweed probably. I think that's right. Yeah, not like that thick cheese and not pads, whatever. But duckweed is I guess what it is. There was a couple ponds I used to fish, and one time I went to make a cast with a bait caster, and I backlashed it so bad that it went yap and just slapped the water super hard, splat. But when I did it, all the duckweed like moved, and then while I was trying to take my rat's nest out, a monster came up and just like engulfed it. And I remember like running backwards to try and like get him on the shore because I couldn't reel and I couldn't whatever. So then after that, I started doing this technique that I would call like the frog smash as a joke, where I would take like 10 feet of line and I would just pull my rod over my head like a fly rod and go whack and just slap it on the water as hard as I could, and it would like blow out the duckweed, and then in my brain it made it easier for the fish to see, and I would get smoked on it. I don't do it anymore because it's kind of embarrassing.
We're gonna make a how-to video.
It'd be pretty funny. And on a certain level it makes sense though. Like it makes it easier for the fish to see it, because like that wave kind of anyway, that's embarrassing.
Feel free to try it.
Yeah, you can try
it. I'm gonna try it.
And when he said when he was little, he literally meant like 3 years ago.
Yeah, we did do that in the tournament. We did.
I'm gonna do it this summer. So
it worked, man. I'm telling you, like it was like one of those stupid things, but it actually worked when I was little. It's fun. Like you remember those old 3-hook worms where you tie a swivel on them?
Oh yeah.
Those were the beds. They smelled super good, and like I just stopped fishing them. I'll bet you $1 I could go catch fish on those right now.
Why'd you stop fishing them?
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny. Like
we
get older.
Fancy.
All the old timers when I was growing up, that was like the secret bait. Like they'd rig them and stuff. Was it Bill
open that package?
Worm?
Oh, they smelled so good. They smelled like jelly or something. Yeah, they were dope, dude. All right, Seth. What's one of your favorite movies?
Inglourious Bastards.
Oh, that's such a good
I think
one,
anything Tarantino I like.
Yeah. You like Django?
Man, oh yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah, super good.
Awesome. Like I said, anything Tarantino. And then I like a lot of like the mob movies and I don't know, a lot of anything like action, like Gladiator, all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
You see the new one, Gladiator 2?
I haven't yet. My wife watched it without me.
Oh,
she does it all that time. She's like, I'll just watch it again when you come home, and then she's always like kind of picking out what we're watching just because I'm usually not paying attention, and then if I just never end up seeing it ever again, because she's not going to bring it up because she already watched it. But
what'd she say? Did she like it? Because I'm on the fence about it.
Yeah, she said it was good.
It was so good.
Yeah, Gladiator 1's one of the greatest. But
absolutely. Okay, all right, go ahead, Berg.
Favorite type of taco?
Oh dang.
That's a very broad
lot of
question.
good ones. I'm probably not even gonna say it right. Is it birria?
Yes.
Birria.
Is that right?
Yeah, dude, the best. Yeah.
That's good. Yeah, that's probably my favorite one. I don't know. We had a spot. We were down in Florida for a couple weeks before we started fishing down there, and there's a really good, just little hole in the wall taco spot down there. I don't remember the name of it, but yeah, everything there was awesome. But those were amazing.
I love little hole in the wall joints. Yeah. Go ahead, Nate.
What's a topping that ruins a taco for you?
Okay.
I don't know if I've had one. Like I'm real like anti pizza or pineapple on the pizza, but
yes, dude,
I
dude,
think
yes.
I had is it El Pastor? Is that the one that has the pineapple on it?
The pineapple in it?
Yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
I liked that.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Huh.
But
It's funny you
I don't
say
think
that.
I've had a taco topping that bothered me.
Are you a spicy guy, Seth?
I mean Midwest spicy. Like,
Yeah.
I like hot sauce, but like not like Mexican. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not like
Not hurt
actually
your
spicy.
face. Yeah.
No. I like want to taste it. I don't want to like just burn my tongue off.
Yeah, dude.
Midwest spicy. I love that. That's
a shirt.
Like,
that's a shirt
like
waiting to be
Taco Bell fire sauce. Like that's
hey, I can handle that. Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah. When we had John Cox on, we asked him about tacos, and he was like, "What do you mean, like Taco Bell or like something fancy?" I'm like, "Whatever, like everybody likes Taco Bell. Some people try to act all like, oh, I like my local place because they source their, organic chicken and blah. I'm like, shut up, dude. Like I'm so down with a gordita or whatever. I'm down with fancy stuff too, but like just a Taco Bell taco is A-okay with me. Nate, did you ask him a favorite? You just asked him what's going to ruin a taco. You
Sorry, we got on Taco Talk.
Yeah,
I did. That was just the way to go. Favorite meat. We'll go with favorite meat on the taco.
Okay.
I mean, there's a lot of good stuff. I mean, steak's good.
Yeah.
That pork they
Carnitas?
Yeah. Is that what's on the birria? Or is that something totally different?
Well, birria, the original birria.
Is that goat meat?
Yeah, the original birria is goat.
Well, that was really good.
Yeah, they make it with garlic because the goat meat was so smelly. That's where like birria came from, is they would just douse it in garlic to get rid of the stank of the goat meat, which is funny, but now it's like awesome, of course.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, I like that slow cook.
Yeah.
Whatever, pork, goat, whatever's in there. Just like the shredded, like it's been simmering all day.
Yes.
Yeah. What's all right, Seth, what's one of your favorite lakes to fish that's not like maybe like obvious, not Champlain, not Mille Lacs, not I don't know, St. Lawrence? Like give us like a favorite, like not super common lake that you're into. And you don't have to let the juice loose and like blow something up.
I want to name a little lake, but one I don't get to very much, Okoboji in Iowa's awesome. A lot of big fish in there.
They got some bigs in there,
yeah. I only get there maybe once every other year, but
okay.
That one's really good as far as around here. I really like fishing on the river. I don't fish a whole big stretch of it, but pools 2 through 9 are all really good. I don't know
for sure.
Like where you live on 15. You guys still got bass down there?
Barely. Yeah.
Barely.
Got a couple. Great,
but 2 through 9's really, really good.
I love 9. 9's money.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. We like fishing
that,
those 4
around,
a day.
Yeah, around here.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
Yeah, no doubt. For sure. Your turn.
Am I still doing
We'll
favorites?
do one more round and then we'll go somewhere else.
Well, I'm not doing a favorite. Okay. I mean, I will. But does your wife like to fish? Do you guys fish together? Do your kids fish?
She did when we started dating, or like pretended to. Now she doesn't come anymore. I don't know. But
that's all right. That's okay.
Yeah, we got a lot going on now. But not particularly. She didn't like fish before she met me. She'd come out in the boat a little bit when we were dating. Yeah. And then once we had kids, I mean, she comes out now with the kids, but more she's not fishing. She's just trying to keep them from falling in the lake.
Yep.
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. Lola and I have 6 kids. Nate has 2 kids.
Wow.
Yeah, we know the deal of trying to incorporate your children into like your outdoor experience. Yeah. It's fun, it's awesome, but it can be interesting. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but our oldest is 15. She'll be 16 this year. And so that's a big difference from like your oldest being 7. Like that's still little. Yeah. But I mean our youngest is 3, so we understand.
We have the whole enchilada.
Yeah.
A whole bunch of
But you got babysitters.
Yes.
We have to.
Built-in babysitter.
Built in,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. Nate, give him one last favorite and then we'll move on to something else.
Favorite chatterbait trailer.
Ooh.
I go back and forth on it. I'd say if I had to pick one, it'd be the chatter shad, the Z-Man. It's just like a straight tail segmented, kind of like the razor shad, but a little slimmer profile. But I kind of like that, segmented straight.
The chatter spike has the pointed tail, so this one's still.
This one has the fin.
Still okay. Yeah.
I don't know if it makes any difference at all, but that's the one I reach for.
Yeah, confidence though. I mean, that confidence bit, whatever it is, you can't even necessarily argue it. Dude, your Seth, your sponsor lineup is bananas. Like, you have such a sick lineup of sponsors, and it seems like the majority of them you've been with a long time. Can you speak to like the importance? Like, I think everybody knows if you're a pro fisherman, it's more than just being able to put a bass in the boat now and again. How hard is it to like attract good sponsors that you actually believe in and then stick with them long term?
Yeah. I mean, really getting your foot in the door is the hardest part. I mean, if you build a good relationship somewhere and do your job, you shouldn't have any problem keeping them as long as you want to keep doing it. And then just really meeting the right people. And it's kind of hard though, because you need the most help when you're getting started and nobody wants to mess with you. Yeah. And then once you do get, at the upper end of things, then everybody wants to jump on board and try stealing you from somebody or anything like that. So I've always kind of prioritized loyalty over other things, just companies I've, Rapala, Daiwa, Sims. Those have been like some of my original sponsors for my first year. And I've had, lots of, competing companies coming, after I win Angler of the Year, then they want to talk to you, and it's like, even though they offer you, twice as much money or whatever, it's just, I just kind of stick with all the ones.
I like that.
Me too.
That I got there with, and then the other ones, there's some that have come and go, but I'm also pretty fortunate. I get to kind of, once you do get to that level, you get to kind of pick and choose who you want to work with. So aside from the original ones I started out with, the rest of them have just been the ones I wanted to work with, not just somebody who would pay me. I'm with them because I like their product and not because it's just a paycheck. So it makes it a lot easier for me to promote and sell their product when I actually like it and use it versus pushing stuff that you're not confident in or whatever.
Yeah, totally agree.
For sure. Do you got one tip or pointer for somebody that's looking to get their foot in the door, like something that might help them?
Yeah, I mean, like really just building those relationships. You're gonna have to go to like sports shows, classic expos, things like that, ICAST. Those are the places to meet all the people in person, and then start talking to those people, even if it's it might be 3-4 years down the road. Like, you're gonna have to do something before you get any serious sponsorship. Just because you're out there trying doesn't really generate any decent sponsorship deals. You're gonna have to wait. And in this day and age, it doesn't have to really be tournament fishing. There's so much you can do on social and YouTube and stuff like that. You don't have to win a bunch of tournaments, but if you're out kicking out good content, like, you're gonna have to do stuff before you get a sponsor. You're not gonna get sponsors just because you're signing up to fish tournaments. You know what I mean? Like, you're gonna have to win tournaments, place, or if you're more on the creative side, make a bunch of good content that gets pretty popular before you're going to be on the receiving end of a good sponsorship deal. But just keeping those people, keeping in contact with those people in your your growing years until you get to that point, and then once you do, then you can turn them into really good sponsorship deals. But the problem is everybody wants something before they do anything, and you're not going to get anything until after you do something. I mean, just the way it is.
Yeah. How many companies too, like Daiwa, Rapala, whoever, are getting just bombarded by people like, sponsor me. I'll talk about you on my social. Sponsor me. I mean, it's got to be unrelenting.
Yeah. And I'm friends. Every company I work with, the main contact I have, there's the, pro staff or marketing guy there. And it's just, I mean, every day he's getting 100 high school kids looking for a sponsorship. You know what I mean?
I want a tournament.
College kids, and so they get bombarded. So like I said, I just don't get your hopes up. Just stay in it, and like I said, you're not going to get much out of it until you're in a position where you're, and I don't know how to say this without being too blunt, of value to the companies. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And I just see a lot of kids like expecting just to get like free baits and money, and it's like you haven't like done anything yet. Yes, you might in the future, but you know,
I think that's
just because you fish on a high school team, you know,
totally.
it doesn't mean anything, you know.
Yeah, I think Lola's onto something.
Yeah,
like
give it to me. I want it, and I free
caught a
stuff.
fish
I did this, or maybe I didn't do anything, but I want that, so give it to me.
Yeah. It is sort of a I think people.
That makes me feel so old. I'm 35, but it feels very generational, like those young kids.
Yeah, but it's true though. Like, you know, we used to work for stuff, dude, and now it's just like, you think you can earn it by having like 1,000 Instagram followers or whatever. But hey, one other sponsor thing, Seth, and again, I promise you, dude. I promise you, I'm not trying to like bait you into something like controversial, but I'm just curious. And if you want to answer it, don't answer it. But what happened with Ballistic? With you, I know some of what happened to Lee and some other cats, but like what happened with Ballistic?
The guy builds an awesome boat.
Absolutely.
I just think it was tough for him on production. He's a real small company. I mean, he builds very few boats, and you know, the first one I got from him. I was supposed to, you know, get another boat at the end of the year. Like I'd like to flip a boat every year, and that turned into a year and a half. So I got my next boat like mid-season, so I couldn't really use it till, you know, at the end of the season. Which honestly I wasn't even that mad about, because that first one I had I'm real superstitious, was the one I won Angler of the Year in. So I was like, I got no problem running this boat again next year for a luck thing. But then you know, the next boat was kind of following that same path of, you know, it's just hard though. I mean, you're talking about a guy that's, you know, he's building, I don't know his exact numbers, 4, 5, 6 boats a year, and he's got 2 dudes on pro staff. Like, it is not a big operation, but dude builds a badass boat. It just,
they're dope.
I don't think it was, you know, I need a boat every year, and not to be a pain in the butt, but I will, like in Minnesota, it's hard. Like I can't it's hard for me to get a boat in January. I can't do anything with it at home. Like I have to, you know, I can rig it and stuff, but you're basically just going down south blind. Like, is anything going to work? You don't know. It's so like for me, it's
stressful.
I really prefer to get a boat in like September, and that way, you know, the season's done. I can get in this one, fish, you know, September, October around the home, make sure everything works before I, you know, just take off and head to Florida or Texas or whatever and fish the first tournament of the year. So that's basically what it came down to me for, was just timing on getting a vessel. But no hard feelings there. The guy builds a badass boat, but they're real niche-y, you know. They're like a custom order. If you order one, I don't know, maybe he's cranking them out now, but you know, basically every boat he ever built was custom. You know, there wasn't like this is
that's so sick.
This model, take it or leave it. Like, you know, you're basically picking out your boat. So the time frame on stuff, and he was going through some stuff at the time too, in his personal life, so that didn't help either. But just, you know, it, like I need a boat in September every year, and it just, I wasn't getting that, so I moved to, you know, more commercial type rigs. But
I remember when your boat was for sale on Bass Boat Central, I was ready to sell meth or like donate a kidney or like, golly, because that was gray, right? Wasn't it the one?
Yeah, it was all matte gray with like a black stripe. It was a badass boat.
Yeah, that is the word. When you looked at that thing, like that boat is badass. Like the layout, the sleekness, like there's like no gunnel lip on it. Like, oh, it's just so sick, dude. It was fast, dude.
Oh yeah.
There was a fella that I used to fish against in Austin when I lived down there a million years ago. I think it's the same fella. I'm not completely certain, but he's a dentist, and he has a purple Ballistic with 300R on the back, and he's got that, whatever it was, the 223. So it's a that's a battleship. That's a big boat. Were you fishing that, or which one were you fishing?
No, I had the it was the 203.
203, yeah.
It was a 20.
204,
yeah.
That's what it was.
So he's fishing that one, and somebody was asking him on like this message board, like, how fast is it? He's like, I've never really opened it up. He's like, but I go 89 with no walk, and I'm like, good God in heaven, on a 22-foot boat, like 90, just scooting by people, like taking your hands off the wheel, you know, like, geez, But man, between you and me, I love Vex's boats. I've been on Vex's boats for a hot minute. The first time I saw like a walkthrough video, it probably was an Intune one from years and years ago. I was sending it to Nate, sending it to Lola. Like, dude, look at these live wells. Look at the seats. Look at like the layout with the sea deck and like the main compartment.
They thought through everything.
So when you sit on it, your butt doesn't get wet early in the morning when you're rigging to like the the net behind the seats back then and all this. I was just like, dude, this thing is smart. Are you liking your VXS?
Oh yeah. Very nice boat. Like you said, real well thought out, everything. So I've been in quite a few different boats now, and some of them like just little stuff you don't think about, like where you sit, like when you're rigging for a couple hours the night before, and like, you know, people don't think about it, like, oh, there's a step up, here's the front deck, you're gonna walk up and fish, but it's like, no, you're gonna sit on that little cooler step for a couple hours every night doing stuff, and just little stuff like that. It's comfortable. It's functional. You know, it's not like there's a couple other boats I had were kind of laid out weird, and just this one all makes sense, like you said, and you know, just a really well built boat.
Yeah, they seem really dope, dude. What can you walk us through a bit of your setup? I mean, I know people can find it on YouTube and whatever, but like walk us through a bit of like your electronics, the whatever, if you're cool with it. We love hearing about this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Well, my electronic sponsor is actually MBT, but I run a 86 Garmin on the console. I got a 16-inch NBT next to that, and basically at the console, my 16-inch NBT is pretty much mapping, and then my 86 Garmin's, you know, side scan, down scan, 2D, all that. Then up front, I have an 18-inch NBT, which mirrors my 86-16. So once I get up front, then you know, I'm in live scope or perspective mode with a sliver of map and a sliver of 2D. Usually, if I get up real shallow, I'll still like to run that, just because live scope is kind of hard to tell exactly how deep you are. And then I got those on beat down mounts, which are badass. I just got those this year. Yeah, they're cool. And then batteries, I'm running two 12-volt impulse lithiums for all my graphs, crankers, electronics, and then I got three 36-volt impulse for my trolling motor, which is a power pole move, and got poles on the back. Merc TH Marine jack plate. It's pretty tricked out, man.
Yeah, tell us about that move, would you? I remember when they first came out, I thought they looked terrible, and now I really, really want one.
Yeah, they're sleek. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
It's low profile, like the most
so
solid
different.
mountain. Like every other trolling motor I've ever had to run, like a bounce buster on or whatever. Like that thing locks down, it doesn't move. I haven't put a bounce buster on any of them.
Okay.
So it locks in super nice, really quiet, really fast, like dangerously fast.
Okay.
Like throw you out your boat fast.
Yeah. Like I wouldn't recommend it if you're like, I mean, I shouldn't say that. Keep the speed down if you're, you know, in that 70, 80 year range, maybe even in your 60s. Because like I almost fall out of the boat about 20 times a year, and I'm still semi-agile. Things really torquey, but goes through grass better than any trolling motor I've ever
That's
seen.
what I've heard. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's dope, dude. Yeah, and I think what it was that threw me off when it first came out was just the teeny head on top. The lower unit is pretty big on it, like it's kind of heavier, like it's skinny, but it's like deep. And then the titanium shaft, like going.
Oh yes, I remember you talking about this. You're like, what is this?
Yeah, the motor guide looking shaft, you know, which I don't mean that as an insult, you know, it's my ignorance, but now like everybody I know who has one is like obsessed with them.
Yeah. If you're a grass fisherman, I wouldn't. I don't think you have another option.
Yeah, that's dope, dude. All right, so hey, we actually have a celebrity question for you. If we can make this work. Now, I have to ask you, Seth. When we did one of your favorites, you could hear the little theme song in your headphones, right?
Yeah, at the beginning.
Okay, yeah, we just got to make sure. Okay, all right. So we got a celebrity question here. You just let us know what you think about this.
Okay.
Hey, Seth, Matt from Omnia. Haven't talked to you in a bit. Know that you're on the Tackles and Tacos podcast. I just wanted to send you a quick note and remind you that We're just about to review all of the submissions for the All Bass Hair Team in honor of the Minnesota Boys Hockey State Tournament and all the beautiful flow that we see there. And just want to check in and see how nervous you are that when we start looking at all these submissions, you're going to realize your flow isn't as good when you start seeing these beautiful, delicious lettuce, mullets, bass snatchers with some wonderful yellow hair flowing out the back. I just want to know if you're going to get nervous about that or how this is going to go. But let Jordan and the team know, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah, no, I won't be getting nervous at all. I know what I got. I know what the boys are going to bring. So I'm expecting every one of them to have 10 times better hair than I do. I'm not on the top, 10 list. I'm the judge.
I don't know, dude. Well, whatever. But I'm saying like you got your own. So are you rocking a mullet now, or is it just long?
No, it's just long.
It's just
like
long.
Back all the way back.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's style,
nice
though.
Bright
dude.
White forehead.
Yeah, heck yeah, dude. Yeah, I mean, you're of the Caucasian persuasion like myself.
Yeah.
So
I'll tell you right now, it's better than a bright white. It's better than a bright white dome when you're not even
when you're
white,
black.
You know what I mean? Golly,
that's a good look, dude. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago, Seth, we had Rich from Hella Bass on.
Yeah,
and he wears like those visor hats where they cuts them out. So we like made one live, and we're just like crying, laughing because my receding ass hairline. There it is, right there. And Nate's like bald on top and whatever. But what is that event that Matt from Omni is talking about?
Oh, that we did it like I don't remember, quite a few years ago. I don't know if you guys watch hockey at all, but the Minnesota State Hockey Tournament is like a big deal. And like all the kids come up, skate, introduce themselves, all the teams that made the state tournament. There's this guy on YouTube. He makes like this, probably gonna say it wrong, like the all Minnesota hair team. He basically like picks out like the 10 best kids out of like
so awesome.
all the starting lineups from all the hockey teams in the state tournament. But he does like super funny. He's like real dry and like talking about their hair and stuff like that. So we did one for like fishing kids, like they send in pictures or whatever, and we make
Matt
like an all bass hair team, kind of similar to that hockey one, and then pick the winners, give them some prizes and stuff.
That's so awesome.
Just something to have fun with.
I like it. I feel like Lola should be on the judging panel. Lola's a stylist, like for her persuasion. So, and you could have like a little professional insight there. Who's on your BASS hair team, Seth? I mean, you're
like at the pro level, it's pretty weak. Yeah, the college kids bring it though. They do.
Yeah, like what's homeboy's name? Tristan McCormick. Holy
dude.
Hell. Just that
dude's got so much hair. I don't even know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I don't think he's kidding, but every time I see his smile, it makes me laugh because his hair looks like, I'm not trying to be a dick at all, but it's kind of bozo-y, like it's kind of clownish.
Oh yeah,
coming out of his hat, and it's just so thick, and he's just like it.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Yeah, but I dig it.
He could be on the team for sure.
Yeah,
but the college kids are where it's at. There's not much going on in the pros.
Well, I mean, there's Chad Pipkins. He's sponsored by a salon.
No.
John Cox can do it when he wants to.
No. That's a little updo, little spiky poof. Like
look at him do the hand thing.
We need commitment, dude. Like I could go get Chad Pipkins' haircut tomorrow.
Dang.
Chad Pipkins can't get my haircut tomorrow. You know what I mean? Like. I'm just saying we need some commitment. Like this is a year or 2 years or 3 years. You know what I mean? Like
you got a point. You got a point.
Just a little whatever, dude, with some gel. Like no, you're not on the hair team.
You're out.
So there's nobody on the elites. There's nobody on the elites that you throw on the hair team.
Matt Robertson, he can bang.
Yeah, duh. Yeah.
There's probably a couple rookies.
That might be it.
I've been inspecting them, but yeah, everybody's pretty. I mean, they're either bald or short.
Does Tyler Williams have long hair? I think he has long hair, doesn't he? Maybe not.
I don't.
I know he lives barefooted, but I feel like his hair's kind of long. I don't know.
Hard to tell.
Okay. All right. Well, that's.
But we're looking for long hair on the hair team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a length contest, but you gotta you can't have a haircut you could get.
It's funny that Matt is the one asking you questions on it too, because Matt's balder than Nate. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah. Everyone right? Omnia is bald, pretty much.
Everyone in Omnia is bald. Sorry, Nate. Go ahead.
No, I could use a new job if they're hiring. You know what I mean? Just
you fit the criteria.
Move up
put
here,
my name
Get
in the
up
hat
here.
for sure. No, but I was gonna say, speaking of Matt Roberts, he was talking, I think, was on Mercer about some superstition stuff that you kind of mentioned. That's a real thing, huh?
Oh yeah,
that's a real deal. You're what's one of your
everything? Like it just like not a lot of it's set in stone, but like it just will become. You know what I mean? Like. Lucky shoes, lucky socks, lucky underwear, lucky undershirt, lucky jersey, lucky hat.
Well, like always been this way
when it comes to tournament fishing, yeah.
Okay.
But like stuff will happen. Like, dude, we ate at the first tournament of the year at St. John's. I had a good finish. We ate dinner at a place the night before the tournament. I caught him good. We weren't planning on going there the second night, but something else happened. The other place was closed, so we just went back there, ate there, caught him good again, and it's like. But at that point, I didn't work out for me on day 3, but I physically would not have been able to eat at any other restaurant other than that. After those first 2 days, like, I would have stood there in line for 2 hours to get a table just to eat there again.
Wow.
Okay. Not because the food was good, not because anything else, just because that's what I had the last 2 nights and it worked.
It worked out.
I'm not gonna break it. So
did you play like stick and ball sports, like team sports when you were younger?
I played baseball till like 10th grade. Got kicked off the team when my dad took me turkey hunting for a week. And then I played like rec league basketball and like whatever, and pond hockey. Nothing. Baseball was the one I was the most serious about, but even that I only made it to 10th grade. And
I was just wondering because baseball is a very superstitious sport too.
Yeah.
Like a lot of dudes with like the way they wear their cleats, their socks, not washing their batting helmets, all that stuff. I didn't know if you picked it up from something like that or if it was just.
No,
like, do you know the genesis?
My OCD. I don't know. Some form of something I was born with. I don't know.
Okay.
That's okay. That's
there's nothing wrong with it. I was just wondering. Yeah.
A little splash of tism or something. I don't know, man.
A little tism.
Maybe a little
tiz.
Just a little
this is a sprinkle.
Which is fine. You know what I'm saying? One thing maybe we can add to your list is, John Cox was on here a couple of weeks ago before the season kicked off, and he finished with like an 8th and like a 12th. So I don't know if it's the tackle and taco superstitious like vibes, but maybe you'll go out and win the next one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Might be it.
And then you can just come on here every week, and then how freaking crazy would that be if he was on here, won his next derby, and then he was like, I'm gonna come back on, comes back on, wins again. That'd be crazy.
Well, then we'd just do this before every tournament.
It'd just be a weekly,
whether you like it or not.
He's coming on. Whether he's got to wait for 2 hours for the table or not, he's coming.
I'll just show up at your house.
Not coming to the studio. Seth's here again, dude. Jeepers criminy.
I made tacos. It's fine.
Come on in. Yeah, we got you. Whatever. Yeah, we actually were supposed to go to the cities and meet up with some homies, and then go to get tacos with Matt up there, and then it like fell apart. But I don't know why it made me think of like the cities and tacos and whatever. But Seth, what's something you could tell us? How do I even put this? What is the difference between like a dude who's trying to do like professional bass tournaments and a guy who's just good at like weekend derbies? Like what's the big separator?
There is a huge difference. I don't know. You got to be one before you're the other, but like you got to be pretty dominant. I haven't seen really anybody have success nationally that didn't dominate locally.
Sure.
But there's a lot of guys that dominate locally that try nationally and it doesn't work out. But you got to give it some time too. Usually there's maybe a little different now with the scope and stuff, but historically, a couple years doing it nationally before you get the hang of doing it. I don't know. It's probably just little stuff like mostly kind of in the moment decision making.
Yeah.
Like I know a lot of local guys, they kind of just got their spots like that they catch them on year after year, and they're gonna start there and this tournament or that tournament or whatever, and and they're good spots. They catch them there regularly, but when the plan doesn't work out, you need to be able to scramble and still catch them, not just, you know, get a limit or whatever. Like, you need to be able to still, everything could fall apart and still be able to go out and get a check. I think that's kind of what separates the good from the great. Just that stuff on the fly, you know. It's easy to go to your best spot and you pull up and they're there and you catch them. I mean, but realistically, on a traveling circuit, how many times that's happens? Like maybe 1/10 of the time, and everything else is just adjustments and audibles and stuff like that. I mean, not to compare to football, but it's like, you know, like a Tom Brady, like they call the play, he sees something, he calls an audible before they snap it. He's not just going out there and doing what the coach predetermined a minute before the play was snapped. You know what I mean? It's just, it's the audibles, the adjustments, the split-second decisions and stuff like that, that make the really good guys. And it just makes you consistent. You know what I mean? Like you have to catch them every day. I mean, you can have a bad day here and there, but if you want to, I mean, you need to catch them like 90% of the days you're on the water to be successful at the, you know, national level, really, for a long time anyways.
Was there could you think of maybe one thing or something, like you said it earlier, it took you like your 3rd year on the opens to really kind of, you know, have that season where you made the elites? Is there any change you made or anything you could think of that you did different year 3 than you did year 1 or year 2?
I mean, I was just a little more familiar. It was kind of a learning process, you know, because everything I knew prior to that was basically Minnesota, a little bit of Wisconsin, which most of those lakes all kind of fish really similar. You know, like I never fished a reservoir or a tidal system or things like that. So a lot of that was just kind of growing pains, just seeing different places and getting a feel for how all those places lay out and how they fish. And really just all, like, back to that stuff, those decision making stuff, that's all just, it's really time on the water is like the biggest thing. That's where you gain those gut instincts and stuff like that, is just from fishing like every day. And if you're just doing it even 2 days a week, it's hard to ever get to, unless you're just an absolute prodigy, it's hard to ever be at a place where the rest of those guys are fishing, you know, 6 days a week.
Do you find that as you have more experience, it's easier for you to make those decisions or to follow your gut, as far as like the even just like the time, like this isn't happening? Maybe when you first started, you just keep throwing the chatterbait or throwing the buzzbait or whatever, like it's not working, and now you know to make that change quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. I kind of told myself, if you think it, do it. Because a lot of times I'll be, you know, like you said, I'm throwing chatterbait. That's how I caught him in practice. This is where I caught him in practice. It's not working. And then, like, you know, prior to that, I'd be like, you know, maybe it was like slick calm or something, or the water got a little clear, and it was like, maybe I should try a swim jig. But I'm just still throwing the chatterbait, you know. 20 minutes later, it's like, man, it's kind of slick and calm. Maybe I should try a swim jig. And it's like, keep throwing the chatterbait, and then, like, you know, 2-3 hours later, it's fine. Like, okay, let's pick up the swim jig, and then boom, you catch one. And it's like, now, as soon as I think it, I do it, rather than sit there and like go back and forth with myself in my head for 2 hours. Like, the second it pops into my brain, I do it. Like, if I see anything that tells me to do something different, I try it immediately, instead of, like I said, going back and forth with myself in my head. Because it's just, I mean, the whole time you're tournament fishing, you're processing everything. Like, oh, the water's just a tiny bit clearer, tiny bit dirtier, a little bit colder, a little bit warmer. You know, there's bait here there wasn't then. And, you know, this, that, wind's doing this, wind's doing that, current, like things like that. You're noticing all that stuff as you fish. And like I don't know, me personally, there's just like I don't know, I'm talking to myself in my head the whole day. I'm noticing everything. Like, every time I look at my bait in the water, every cast I make, every little ripple I see, or, you know, that jumps out of the water, whatever. Like, I'm just like noticing everything, and really just acting on those little ideas in my head right away, versus, you know, putting them on the back burner. That's made a big difference for me.
Dang. Man, that's really, really solid advice. Like that's some juice for sure. Yeah. Speaking of swim jigs, Seth, are you ambidextrous?
I am, yeah.
Yeah.
Clap ass with both hands.
Yeah, dude. I watched a video of you one time throwing a swim jig. When I first moved back to Wisconsin, like I could throw a swim jig, but I wasn't super like well versed in it. And then like I'm watching videos, podcasts, whatever, and everybody's talking about Mississippi River swim jig and blah blah blah. And I'm like, I better dial it up a little bit. And so I watch a video on you throwing a swim jig, and you had like 3 or 4 different setups on your front deck, and like 2 of them were left-handed, 2 of them were right-handed, and you're just talking and throwing. I'm like, what in the name of Pete? Like, it was so funny watching you just go back and forth. All 4 were bait casters, some were right, some were left. Do you still do that?
I do. I'm kind of more heavy on the lefties now, but kind of just yeah, I was kind of more like transitioning over on a lot of that, and a lot of times I was like really into it. Like if I was going down a bank that was, if I'm looking up, it's on my right, I wanted to be a right-handed reel,
Oh snap. Wow.
And then if I'm on a bank on the left, I wanted to be a left-handed reel. But now I'm kind of more pretty much all left-handed reels now.
Wow, dude, that's sick. That's like some Rain Man stuff.
Yeah, but it got to be too much. It's like you had to rig up 2 poles of it, you know what I mean? And 2 white swim jigs, 2 black blue swim jigs, 2 crankbait, you know what I mean? It got to be too much.
Were you doing it like the right side of your deck was right-handed, left side of your deck was left-handed?
Yeah, not exactly, but I mean,
that
was rigging them for like the way I was approaching cover, but it got to be too much. And a lot of it at the time, early in the time, I just didn't have that many reels,
Yeah.
So I was just using
whatever
both or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, that's dope. We're talking about Daiwa. Are you a high-end Daiwa guy, like Steez, Zillion, Exist, all that stuff?
And yeah, I like to be, but
they're so sick, dude.
Yeah, they want us running a lot of Tatulas, and then they kind of let you get a little bit of the good stuff. But yeah, the spinning reels, Exists are like, well, they're so nice. But I get why they don't want us running all of them, because they're like $800 a piece, and then but yeah, like bait casters, I like the Zillions, I like the Tatula pitch and flip, the one with the big oversized handle. That's probably one of my favorites.
Yeah, they're dope.
And then like the little ones, those Tatula 70s or 80s,
80s,
whatever they're.
Yeah, they're really
those are pretty sweet. Yeah,
they're dope. Yeah. Does Daiwa listen to like feedback from the anglers as far as like that, like an 80 or like a design, like we want something that fits in your hand a little better? Like, do you do that kind of thing with them?
Yes and no. Like the rods a lot, the reels not so much. It's kind of and really the rods only in that Tatula Elite line. They'll let you trick them, make them exactly how you want them, because they're all signature series stuff. But the reels, I don't think I've ever had. I mean, sometimes I'll test some stuff and tell them what I think, but I mean, not really any input on reels whatsoever. But the Tatula Elite rods, we definitely got input on.
That's fun. That's really cool.
Yeah.
Is it like that with like the fighter fly stuff and all that? Like is that like full blown you? Or?
Oh yeah. That's all. I get every little aspect of that. Yeah, every little minute detail goes into those is from my head.
Yeah, that's sick, dude. Is that something you? I know you're kind of a tinkerer. Like I know you like making lures and stuff, but I mean, like the fighter fly. Are you into like the engineering side of it? Like so many different versions till you get it just right, or what does that look like? For
yes and no. The more stuff I do, the more over the top I do it. Like a lot of the first couple things I did, I'd get like a sample or 2 and I'd go out and have a good day fishing with it, and I'd be like, it's awesome. But now I'm like beyond picky. Like I want to get a minimum of 100 bites on something, and without losing one, or maybe at most 1 before I would deem it right.
Sure, man, that's fun. Gosh, that sounds fun.
You ever get to the point on that where you're like actually like tallying like how many bites you've gotten? Is that like?
I mean, no, I don't count them, but I mean, I guarantee I'll remember every one I miss on it. You know what I mean? If I go and I feel like I caught 70 or 80 or 50 or 100 that day, and everyone that touched it ended up in the bottom of the boat, I'm good with it. I couldn't tell you how many I caught, but I could tell you exactly without a doubt how many I missed or lost, you know.
That's a good point.
That makes sense. Yeah, for sure. Well, just a couple more, Seth, and we'll let you get out of here. Again, bottom of our 3 hearts. Thank you for doing this, brother. We super appreciate you.
No problem. This was fun.
Yeah, man. So as it relates to being a pro, I just feel like you've given some really good, juicy, honest, relatable sort of like tips for sponsors, pros, all that kind of stuff. What separates pros from like amateurs, whatever. What is something about being a professional angler that normal people who are just big bass heads like me maybe wouldn't expect?
Oh, probably the driving.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah, it's, I don't know, minimum 50,000 miles a year for me. I mean, everywhere we go is like 1,000+ miles from my house. Yes, we got a lacrosse every once in a while, but every time I leave my house, it's a 15 to 25 hour drive.
What do you do on those drives?
So what?
What do you do on the drives? Are you a podcast listener? Are you a music guy?
No, music and just chain smoke darts and lots of caffeine, coffee, and then as soon as the coffee's done, right into the Cokes. And
dude, I wanted you to have a dart in your mouth so bad when you said hell yeah on that Tungsten Evo
in that commercial. Yeah.
I wanted so bad to be like hell yeah and just have that dart hanging out. Boy, I wanted that so bad.
And then a lot of that driving too is because I come home. Like if we got a week in between tournaments, you know, majority of those guys stay, but I come home, see the family, and then head back. So
I love that.
Just tons of driving. Like you're pretty much a part-time truck driver to fish like pro circuit stuff, and then just time away from home.
Yeah, and I mean that's some moolah too. I mean that's a lot of money, a lot of gas money.
Yeah. I don't even want to know what I spend in gas. It's a lot.
Yeah, it's a lot for sure. Well, yeah. Nate, Lola, you guys got anything else for the llama before we let him get out of here? Which, by the way, when you said, I guess I do look like one. That was so free.
He just capitulated.
I've just thought about it more. You know, I used to believe Zona's BS story about how he came up with it, but now that I look at myself in the mirror, I'm like, he was just calling me a llama.
No, he was just sort of like sideways, like making fun of you or something.
Oh,
yeah. It's okay. Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
It worked out. Yeah.
I've legit had both my kids for the last 3 years now talking about llama gang. Like that's we throw it up all the time. So
that's awesome. Seth, would you rather take home another AOY or a classic? I feel like I know the answer, but
it'd be a classic at this point. Yeah, I think either way, I think I'd still rather win a classic, which is I just feel like it's a bigger deal. I think it's harder to win an AOI, but just looking back, even just being a fan of the sport, like I remember the classic winners more than I do the Angler of the Year winners, even though I think it's 10 times harder to win an AOI than a classic. But
20 times.
I would much rather have a classic.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's what's up. Nate.
So that's what's next for you.
That's it.
That's gonna happen.
That's what's next, especially after this podcast. You know, I mean, that's what's gonna happen. Get that superstitious good mojo going on.
Yeah. I'll just be like the fourth host of it.
Yes,
that's fine. You can jump on. Yeah, you might have some good connections. We can stop trying to pester people through emails and Insta. You can be like, hey, it's Seth, be on my podcast, and I'll be like, all right, fine.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of that, you got to tell Josh Douglas quit messing around and get a hold of me, all right? Because I've been talking to that guy for months now, and I'm about to square up.
Just putting it out there. Yeah.
I got his address if you need to know where he lives.
Let's go.
I'm gonna need that from me. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll make the trip. I'll make the trip up north. Knock on his door.
It is funny though, man. Like I know you're on the other end of it, Seth, but man, scheduling people for podcasts is like the craziest thing. People will like almost everybody when you get a hold of them, like, yeah, I'll do it, sure. And then it's like back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and back and forth, and then you don't hear from them for a month. It's just so normal.
Life.
But we're just like on our podcast, we're just not interested in talking to every possible like professional bass fisherman we can. Like we just want to talk to people who we think will be a good conversation. You know, like people that we're like curious about, or people we think will be, you know, fun or whatever. And we've been trying to track down Josh Douglas forever. So maybe
I'll call him tomorrow and tell him.
Thanks,
All right,
Seth.
appreciate it.
It was a good time.
Yeah. I'm gonna send him a text tonight and tell him, hey, Seth said if you don't come on the show, he's gonna give me your address and we're gonna duke it out in the front lawn.
Yeah. I don't know where Josh Douglas lives, but I can't imagine he's got too many black men rolling up on his front lawn. You know,
he's up in Mille Lacs now.
Yeah, no way.
Yeah, I thought he was right on the lake. Yeah.
Everyone will be scared of you. That'll be awesome. You'll get whatever you want. It'll be great. God. Yeah. It'll be awesome. All right. Well, that's it, man. Seth, we appreciate you so much, brother. We wish you nothing but the best of luck for the rest of the season. And yeah, man, we've been fans for a long time, and I'd say more so now after getting to talk to you. So thank you for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So fun.
All right, brother. We'll bug you later. Thanks, Seth.
All right. Thank you.
All right, buddy. Bye-bye.
Hey, peace.
There he goes. The llama.
The llama. The amazing fighter, man.
You just kind of do like hook 'em, but like you stick it out in the middle so it looks like a llama.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah.
Llama gang.
Gang.
If you ask both my kids right now to do llama gang, they're gonna throw it up like
hey.
That's so cute.
Let's go
ready.
for it.
Yeah.
Like hook 'em, but like cuter.
All right, we're teaching Gus tomorrow.
Yeah,
way better than hook 'em.
Whoa.
No, way better.
We already had Tyler Berger on here like hating on the horns because he's an Ohio State guy and whatever else. Yeah, you didn't hear all that. He was like, oh, we beat them in the national championship to get to the national championship. I'm like, I know. You're
like,
you beat
my
us.
heart is hurting right now.
Yeah, like I just disconnected him off the podcast.
You're like, thanks for being on. Bye.
Yeah, he was talking about how he's a man of faith and he loves Jesus, and I was like, F you, mother effer, and then I hung up on him. I come to your house and slap you with a Bible.
Oh my gosh.
Anywho, Seth Fighter, man.
The coolest.
Golly, heck yeah.
Just so chill, so real. The way he talked about Zona, he's like he made up some BS story, but I think it's just because I look like a llama.
The more I thought about it, I was like, yeah, I looked in the mirror.
Or even when he took his hat off, he had a white forehead.
He said I had the goatee thing going on like llama. It was
perfect.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. If anybody hasn't seen that, I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube.
Is that hard for you to say?
That was a struggle. Yes.
Yeah.
It's on
a struggle.
YouTube. It's on the Turbs.
Oh my gosh.
The episode,
that's the last one.
Yeah, just like legit look on YouTube for Mark Zona, Zona, and Seth Feider. Fighter is Feider. And there's this episode where they like go fishing smallmouth, I think on the Great Lakes somewhere, and it's just so funny. Like their interaction between the two is hilarious. And then he cuts his hair on the boat, and like Seth has the same kind of hair he has like in this podcast, and he like number 1 or 2 guards it on the top on the boat, and then leaves this super long piece in the front and puts steps on the side.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. And then like the beginning, like Seth comes out of his hotel, or they're in like a motel, like by the lake, and Seth comes out with a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, just looking like 10 miles of bad road. Like he ain't had no sleep. Like it is so freaking funny, dude.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, and it's just rad that Seth is clearly the same dude here. And how cool was that to have Matt Johnson like send in a voice message question.
Cool. And Matt's the coolest.
Yeah, what a cool dude. Shout out to Omnia.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah, Omnia is the coolest, man.
Shout out.
But just know, please, that like when we're saying this right now, like, oh, Omnia is the coolest. We are not sponsored by Omnia at all. Like we don't get any kickbacks from them. We don't have a discount. We're not pro staff. We're not nothing. They're just people that we believe in, and we like Omnia as a website. It's not Tackle Warehouse. It's not LureNet, and that's no insult to them, but it's totally a different system of doing things.
Check them out.
Check them out. Their reviews, their lake-based mapping for like shopping. So like if you go to, like he was talking about Minnetonka or Mille Lacs, you can go to those lakes and there will be reports. They don't show the exact spots on the lake, which you don't want somebody blowing up your spot, but they'll show time of year, lures that have been working, colors that have been working, and you can literally like, so let's say that Seth put a review about I don't know what, he's a Rapala guy, so let's say like a DT10 on Mille Lacs. It'll show you the colors that he was using, and you can click it and go right to those lures to buy them like a direct link. It's just super. Amazing. Yeah, it's just incredibly smart. It's very like intuitive, like just real natural. And so that's why we talk about Omnia, because we believe in them. We think they're dope. So anyway, I think that's important, because sometimes you hear about sponsors, like Seth said, and he's like, it's a lot easier to push something when you believe in it. Well, we're not sponsored by them, but we still believe in it. And I'm not trying to sell out, but I would sell out for Duke Cannon. I'm talking about, I'd be like, Duke Cannon is the best. I brush my teeth with their soap. I
need some chapstick right now.
Man, you need that. It's not called that, but you need that Duke Cannon summer sausage.
Oh my gosh, they should not stick. Call it that.
Yeah, the big stick. I'm gonna give you that in a couple minutes.
Oh my gosh. Good night, y'all.
Yeah, it'd be the best 2 minutes of your life. But Duke Cannon makes this. It's actually called offensively large chapstick or offensively large lip balm. I think it is huge.
Yeah.
But I started using that after Nate and I fished a 2-day, I think, up on this lake right here behind my shoulder, Chippewa Flowage. And being as pale as I freaking am, I would get sunburnt on my freaking lips. And
that's not too uncommon.
Is it not really?
No,
because I've never really heard of that too much.
It's awful.
It's miserable. And you just keep on putting on chapstick, and it's like it's like a dried up sponge. You put water on it, it's just like your lips just suck it up, and it's like for like 2 minutes, and then you need more. But with that stuff, it has like that sunscreen or whatever it is. I don't think it's sunscreen, but something that's safe to put on your lips that fights off the sun. And anyway, but yeah, I forgot to put this on the screen the whole time. But if you don't, you should give Seth a follow online. His Instagram has like 115,000 followers. His Facebook has like 80,000 followers. And then he's had a YouTube.
Good.
Struggling. He had a YouTube for quite a while, but literally never did anything. And then now just this year, he's doing like tournament recap videos where he basically just talks through his tournaments, and they're dope. Like they're solid videos. Like I think he's in his boat in his garage, but it's very engaging. And Seth is just kind of an engaging fella in general. So Instagram and Facebook at Seth Feider Fishing. And then also on YouTube, Seth Feider Fishing, Feider Fishing, no spaces, whatever. Make sure you give him a follow. Just a cool human, man. That was a really fun conversation.
Loved it.
I love that we get to talk to these people that Nate, Lola. Like if they were around us, like we'd just be friends.
Yes.
Like, hey, you want to come over for the game? Can you help me move a piano? I don't know. Like you just be buddies.
Every podcast, I'm like, oh my gosh, our besties. Yeah. These are our friends.
We were just talking about that. Carolina Fishing Tackle, Chad Pipkins, homeboy from Stinky Pants Fishing down in Texas.
Oh yeah.
Jason. Like these people are just authentic people.
Yep.
And it just makes Dan Miguel from Great Lakes Finesse.
Like all these people.
Yeah. So like that's okay. So real quick, this is funny. Dan Miguel, Great Lakes Finesse. We're having him on the podcast Thursday. If you don't know yet, are they out now? Are they available now?
In a few weeks.
Are they going to be whatever? The podcast will drop in a few weeks, but they just put out these new rods, Great Lakes Finesse, like the little finesse baits. They put out fishing rods, and they are freaking dope. My gosh, they're so sick. Like the handle style, the guides are this crazy thing that like lessen the slap of your line coming through the guide so you can cast farther with really light lures. Anyway, I was at Walmart one morning before work, and I saw the Great Lakes Finesse, like, what do you call it? Like end cap or whatever. And I was like, whoa, Great Lakes Finesse at Walmart. And then, they're partially owned by Pragco, which is a huge distributor. So that's, that makes sense. But just seeing like that, I was like, whoa, that's dope. So I just text Dan and I was like, dude, this is dope. Walmart. And he was like, yeah, thanks, man. That's a big move for us, whatever. I was like, absolutely. And I said, you got anything new coming out for like the Classic or iCast or whatever? And he goes, yeah, can you take a call? And I was like, yeah, dude, like I'm nobody. You're like the owner of Great Lakes Finesse. And he just goes and he's just a fish head. So he just wanted to talk about fishing stuff with a guy like me who's passionate about fishing stuff. He starts telling me about the rods, about the new sizes and baits, the new baits that I don't know if those have been released yet. So I don't want to say anything.
We can't wait to talk to him.
But like it's just so cool that a guy like that, that's just a friend now.
Yeah.
Like that's just a homie.
Yeah.
And he just happens to be a freaking fishing genius. So yeah, how cool. Like always, man, we appreciate every one of you for listening to this episode. Nate, Lola, what you got? Anything to close her out with? Go ahead and hit us with the saying, Bird. We haven't heard from you in a while.
Well,
that's it. Get it.
well, positivity is worth the effort. See you on the next one. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.